Hi girls and boys and girls. Have you ever gotten a Valentine? It'd be kind of rare for us in America to have never gotten a Valentine, wouldn't it? Well, in this book, Cranberry Valentine by Wendy and Harry Devlin, there's three characters in here. Maggie is a young girl and her grandmother and Mr. Whiskers. And this is Mr. Whiskers. He's an old sea captain. And they're sitting around the table, and Maggie and Grandma are making Valentines because it's getting close to Valentine's, giving Valentines away. Mr. Whiskers says, you know what, I never got a Valentine. And he was so sad, so he went home. 2 or 3 days later, he comes rushing back over to the Maggie and Grandma's house, and he says, I got a Valentine. And oh my goodness, he was so mad, she couldn't believe it. Maggie couldn't believe it. Grandma had gone to the sewing circle. So Maggie tells him, well, you know what, Mr. Whiskers, there was a lady asking about you. She had on a green coat. Mr. Whiskers was madder than a hornet. And so 3 or 4 days later, he's going uptown and he's gotten some more Valentines. And he can't figure out who's sending them to him. He gets madder and madder. He goes into the store. One of the people in the store says, hey, Mr. Whiskers, a lady in the green coat's been asking about you. He says, oh, I don't want to talk to the lady in the green coat. And about that time, she busts through the door. She comes running in and she says, are you Mr. Whiskers? And he says, yes, I am. And she says, I hear that you are the best at doing something. But you know what? You got to read the book to find out what he's the best at. So then he says, he starts thinking and he says, well, I wonder if this lady's the one that's sending me the Valentines or not. So he got a box of chocolates. And you know what? He's feeling so bad and everything. He goes over to the women's sewing circle where Grandma is, and he gives them the box of chocolates. And you know what? Those ladies, you better read this book and see whether or not they're mad at him or whether they're happy with him. See who's sending Mr. Whiskers the Valentines. Is it Maggie and Grandma? Is it the ladies in the sewing circle? Is it the lady in the green coat? Or you know what? Is it a surprise lady? Is it a surprise lady that we only find out about at the end? Hey, get this book, Cranberry Valentine by Wendy and Harry Devlin, and see what happens in this great little book. Hey, thanks for joining me. This is Mr. Dean with another Mr. Dean's Outdoor Reading Adventures.